Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the iMPACT review, March 28th. If you haven't looked at my face and realized I'm still sick, I am sick, baby. I am sick beyond recognition. I can barely talk, even though I've done a video earlier today on something entirely unwrestling related. I am still sick beyond reason. My throat hurts like crazy. But I love doing my reviews, and I'm giving you the best review possible under the situation I'm in, ladies and gentlemen. I could say with this review, and I'm going straight to it now, the show actually was quite good. I was actually quite surprised at how they structured the show. My feelings were that they were trying to cram too much into their impact shows, and they weren't trying to spread it out and trying to structure them properly going into the next pay-per-view. I can say that they still got a long way to go before the next pay-per-view comes around. We just came out of lockdown. But from what I can tell, some of what they've done is actually quite good. And I wish to say that I said about the X Division, and I know I got at least 1 or 2 comments of people saying, dude, don't worry about the triple threat for the X Division at all. People are going to love it. I understand what people were saying. Giving them something totally different will give it a lot of spice. The only problem I felt was that if it's used too much, it can become repetitious and boring. I'm not saying fans have a short attention span. No. But see it like this. If you see the same thing every single time, it's not special anymore. But if it's not used too much, it could be quite good. Now, I'm very glad that one night only, and I believe it's 8 days from now, well, 7 days now, they're going to have their pay-per-view. Now, I believe that's going to be the day after they have the regular Impact review. It's going to be on a Friday. Now, I'm going to see if I can see that. And that's only going to be promoting the X Division by itself. All X Division matches, which is quite nice. Now, if they do this for the tag team division, they do this for the knockouts, they do this for the X Division, and the TV title. I'm not saying having its own pay-per-view, but structuring the pay-per-views only for those particular things and leaving the main pay-per-view, for the majority of the storylines will actually be a very wise move. That's what I'm hoping they'll do. Now, I believe Metko, I can't pronounce his name, and Adam Pesky. I'm really sick, so it's hard to really keep up with the names. Next week, those are the new 2 gut check people. They look like the X Division. So it looks like they're trying to fill up the X Division so they can do that. Maybe that might be what they'll mainly do. Maybe they'll do an X Division pay-per-view by itself every other month or every month, leading into the next every 2 months. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Letting the X Division have its own pay-per-view once a month will actually be very good. If they're doing that, it'll make sense what they're doing with the triple threat with the X Division Championship and the #1 contender. It will be actually quite wise. Now, the ones that's going to be doing the next X Division #1 contender will be Sanjay Dutt. I'm trying to keep, I'm sorry ladies and gentlemen, I am really sick here. I can't really say their names right now. I can barely think. I really don't feel well. But Sanjay Dutt lost the last X Division title match. He lost it. So he has to go up against 2 new opponents to try and get back into the title picture. That's next week. Along with Gut Check with the 2 guys that I mentioned, and I know I botched their name. I'm very sorry. But it's alright. This is actually a very good thing. Now, I want to say that I'm actually quite disappointed in something. You see a knockouts feud between Tarrant Terrell and Gail Kim. Okay. But then you see 2 things, or actually 3 things that are not even shown. 1 out of those 3. Out of 3. 1. You don't see anything for Velvet Sky to do. Now, I said, and I probably am right, this feud between Terrence Terrell and Gail Kim is going to culminate in a Slammiversary match. And I believe that Velvet Sky will be the ref for that. Because when Terrence Terrell called out Gail Kim, there was no match. And there was no ref there. She's the only ref they had for the the knockouts. I don't know who we're going to put there. Maybe a man or another woman. But the point is that is the main feud they seem to be focusing on. They're not focusing on Velvet Sky and having anyone for her to feud with. Now, I'm hoping it'll be with a Mickie Jane. Let her turn heel. I don't think they'll do it, but that's what I'm hoping for. That's one thing that's not being promoted at all. 2, nothing about Brooke Hogan. Tell me in the comments below that if Brooke Hogan had a segment other than talking about Terrence Terrell, or repeat a video package from the week before when she told her you've been fired from the ref position but now have become a wrestler. Please tell me below. Like I said, I'm very sick right now. I fell asleep a couple of times watching the Impact review, and I had to look at it a couple of times extra in hopes I didn't miss anything, and I still kind of fell asleep. So if anyone saw anything involving her at all, please tell me below. I don't see a damn thing. And this is supposed to go into what's going on with Bully Ray and Hulk Hogan, and nothing's there. It's like she's an afterthought. She's disappeared, and I find that very sad. Now, going into Terrence Terrell and what happened with Gail Kim, Terrence got her ass kicked by Tara and Gail Kim. Velvet Sky comes out on her defense and helped her. The thing I thought that was a nice touch was the interview right after that match. Not after a match, after the fight. And Terrence Terrell went after Gail Kim again. Well, she called her out the first time, but this time she attacked her from behind. And Tara acted extremely timid. She didn't try to punch Terrence Terrell. She didn't try to shove her. She just grabbed Gail Kim and ran off. I felt that wasn't necessary. You could do something with all 4 of these women together. You could have had Tara attack her, and then you could have had Velvet Sky get her off, because Velvet kicked their asses in the ring without a match. So you trying to say that Tara is a chicken shit now? I don't see how things are working here. I don't see a feud for Tara, a feud for Velvet Sky. The only thing I'm seeing is a feud for Terrence Terrell and Gail Kim. And that's a good thing. It's new between someone who's entirely new, who's never wrestled, and someone who's well established. But you got other women that need something to do. Now, I'm going to get this over with right now, because the last thing I want to talk about is the thing that's in the title, Meltdown. Jeff Hardy and Mr. Anderson match. Now, early in the show, Jeff Hardy comes out and says he's not 100%, but he is going to be #1 contender against Bully Ray. Bully Ray comes to the ring with Anderson and a couple of members of Ace and Nate. And I realized something with Mr. Anderson. He's still a great talent, but he's been so badly packaged, he's almost nothing but an afterthought. I can say at least they included him in the show tonight. And the package they had with Devon and Bully Ray, with him there flipping out, saying, I'm going to show this piece of shit who the hell he's messing with. The asshole is going to kick his ass. Now, I can say that wasn't a bad segment for him. It wasn't. Now, I know a lot of people are tired of Aces and Eights. I understand that. But like I said in my previous Impact review, if you got a piece of shit on your hands, you got to turn to lemonade the best you can. Mr. Anderson has not been packaged well. He has been barely seen. And he's been considered, when he has been seen, as an afterthought. I don't know what they're going to do with him in the next couple of months going into Slammiversary. I hope it'll be something, but do I believe so? No. The match itself was a standard Anderson-Hardy match. They've had it more than a few times. When it comes down to it, Anderson gets his butt kicked because the Baltine hammer that was thrown in by a Garrett Bishop, and I will be getting to that in a few minutes. He tried to hit Hardy with it, it didn't happen. And Hardy hits him with it and is about to splash him off a ladder after he set up the table, hits Mr. Anderson with a chair and was about to jump off the ladder. And he says clearly to Bully Ray, who comes out, we're going to have a no disqualification match. Well, pretty much tables, ladders, and chairs. That's basically no disqualification, no count out. You can go out to the ring, get everything you want. in 2 weeks. Now, I didn't mind that. That's okay. It would be something that many people would say, hey, why don't you save this for Slammiversary? But what are you going to do with Hardy? What are you going to do with Bully Ray? They may throw a twist on it. I doubt Bully Ray is going to lose the championship. It's obvious. He's not going to lose it. But you got to still hype up and give something for the shows leading into Slammiversary. So I commend them for doing this. It would be nice if it's not, how can I say this? Counting on how that match goes in 2 weeks, it counts also how they build into the match. I'm hoping the next 2 weeks it'll be actually very good. I don't know. TNA has had their moments where they're going to build into something properly and it gets squashed. Now, the 6-man tag, I'm saying this now, which led from a very good James Storm match, ladies and gentlemen, talking about an AJ Styles. Sorry. I am really sick. I can say this. The AJ character now in its form is actually quite nice. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't act much. And everyone else does what they need to do. That's actually getting AJ over. Now the segment leading into the 6-man tag when basically James Storm calls out AJ. And Dick Stone, if you see this, my brother, your cousin, is one hell of a badass and he's going to kick ass at a Slammiversary against an AJ Styles. Are you with me, ladies and gentlemen? That's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. AJ and James Storm will have that match at a Slammiversary. I am saying it now. I'm sure more than a few people already said it. If they didn't, then I will be the first one that's going to say it. It's obvious. Excuse me. But James Storm, after AJ comes out from the crowd in top of the stands in Arkansas, was quite nice. The crowd there also, wish to say, was not bad. They booed when they wanted to boo. They yelled when they wanted to yell. I do admit that the crowd did feel a little flattish in many parts of the show. But still, this is what happens when you go to a real setting. Instead of just something you gotta have control of. You're going to have a flat crowd and you're going to have one hell of a hype one. So I'm hoping beyond hope they'll have a better crowd the next time. But anyway, when he said, AJ, you got a choice right now, my brother. You can either come, shake my hand, and drink a beer with me, or we can close our fists and I can knock your teeth down your throat. Fine with it. This is how it should be. You don't always have to have a full confrontation between the two main characters. At this moment, we got a full face versus a full heel. And then with Aces and Eights coming out, and I know a lot of people are tired of Aces and Eights, but in this case, it's a question mark if AJ Styles is a part of them. He hasn't fully accepted their vest yet. Not saying he won't. I was really hoping he wouldn't become a part of Aces and Eights, and maybe he will not. They're still trying to get him. But seeing this will still give you a question mark. How far is AJ willing to go? How far is he willing to slip into evilness? We don't know. But it's good to see them do this. Even with a shitty concept of Aces and Eights, it's still good to see it. And I'm very happy about that. Now, like I said, this leads into a 6-man tag with Doc and the heel twins, as I call them, Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe. Like I always say, you rarely see them separate. They're always together when it comes to the ring. And then you have a Kurt Angle and an Eli, which I was quite surprised. I was pleasantly surprised to see a very serious Eli. He didn't come out in his normal trunks that he usually unbuttons to show his butt. No. This was a serious Eli who came in regular trunks, who seemed very serious. Now, do I believe they're going to keep this concept? I don't know. But I'm very interested in seeing how far they're willing to go with Eli as a serious wrestling character instead of a slapstick type of character like a Santino Marella. They have had him as a funny character since at least 2009 and 10 when Orlando Jordan was there and he was acting gay with Eli and Eli didn't notice that he wanted to fuck him. It's been quite a while since we've seen Eli as a serious character. He has been such a slapstick character for so long. This is a very refreshing thing. Now, I believe that Eli is going to have a possible Slammiversary match with Doc. That's how I feel about it. I still believe that that's going to happen. Now, the match itself, you can see the contrasting styles of a undercarder, mid-carders, upper mid-carder, and main eventer. Kurt Angle and James Storm are clearly main eventers. You got Eli and Doc as good mid-carders, and you can see Wes Briscoe is decently good enough to be also considered a mid-carder. But then when you look at Garrett Bischoff, you can clearly see, and this is something I barely say in my reviews when it came to Garrett Bischoff. I don't hate him. I don't. I don't hate the man. But the problem is this. You can honestly see from how he acts that he's an undercarder. He is. There is no way you can lie about it. The best option for him is to only be in X Division. That's where he should be. Wes Briscoe can go into the TV title reign or into the tag team division. He's clearly good enough for that. The others can easily go into the tag team, and I'm talking about Doc and Eli. Tag team and television title. They can easily do it. And then you can see a James Storm with a Kurt Angle dealing in the world title. You can see them clearly. But Garrett is basically the man on the bottom of the totem pole. He is the one that's the lowest. He's basically a jobber because when you saw at the end, Angle was going to make him job because he was about to snap the shit out of his ankle. But who was the one who got the win? It was Wes, helped by the VP, D'Lo Brown. Now, I'm very confused on who Kurt Angle's going to face next. You could say it's still Wes, but I have a feeling that you might have a conflict between D'Lo Brown and a Kurt Angle. There's still 2 months to go. So you never know that you may have a D'Lo Brown and a Kurt Angle match at Slammiversary or before it. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't know how long it's been since D'Lo Brown has actually wrestled, but you know what? I'm sure it's going to be a good match. Now, excuse me. Chavo and Supermet and their match at Open Fight Night. At first, when I saw Chavo and Supermet going against Bad Influence, I'm thinking, no, there's something wrong here. I don't feel right about this. And I was right. Bad Influence did not win, and Chavo and Supermet did. Now, I initially, the first time I saw this on television, I felt sick, so sick at the time. My first thoughts was, why? Why? I want to see Bad Influence against Dirty Heels. But then, I got a chance to see it a couple of, at least 1 or 2 times more because, like I said, I've been very sick. I kept falling asleep on it. And when I saw it, I realized something. Why not? This is not Slammiversary, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to have Chavo and Supermet versus the Dirty Heels. You got to give Dirty Heels something to do. So who says they can't go up against the Chavo and Supermet in the meantime building into Slammiversary? I doubt we're going to have any match, or at least I'm hoping we're not going to have Bad Influence Dirty Heel match before Slammiversary. It should be a total, complete surprise. But they need to build up to it and give some type of content in between. So these 2 teams, it's okay to see it. Because then at least you're going to have something for them to do. That makes me happy. Having a Chavo and Supermet going against a Dirty Heels is okay. As long as they don't win. Let Bad Influence continue messing up Chavo and Supermet until they start nearing Slammiversary. And then you can start really doing the feud between the Bad Influence and the Dirty Heels. That's what I believe is going to happen. With their match, Bad Influence has to mess with Chavo and Supermet to make them lose. So they do not have the option to get those titles. If the stereotypicals get those titles back, it would be a stupid idea. People want to see the other 2 teams win. Who wants to see them win? I can't say I hate them, but they're not good enough to be used in this way, because when they had the titles, people weren't that interested. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now, let's see, am I forgetting anything? Sorry, I'm really tired, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is it. This is the last thing. The meltdown between, not Brooke Hogan, I'm sorry. I am really tired. Between Hulk Hogan and Sting. Now, I said at least 2 weeks earlier, Hulk Hogan and Sting going against each other, how far are they willing to go with this? Because this is two faces where now one is angry at the other. How far are they willing to go? Well, it looks like they're willing to go pretty far. Because it's possible that I could be wrong, please tell me below, but the way that Sting was acting, he seems very, very vengeful. So I believe Sting is turning heel. I could be wrong. I'm not saying he's going to turn heel immediately, but it looks like he might turn eventually heel. And if he's not going to turn heel, seeing Matt Morgan at the end of the segment out of the ring makes some sense. Now, the inside the ring, let's put it simple. Both hate each other right now. Even though Sting tried to clean up the mess that he caused. A lot of people are going to say that it was Sting's fault. Other people are going to say it's Hogan's fault. Put it like this. Hogan is accountable for making the final decision. Sting is accountable for instigating that final decision. Neither one of them wants to admit the other one was right. So in the end, Hogan said, I'll take full accountability, but you know what? Get the fuck out of my ring. And when Sting said, make me, that made me feel okay after seeing the shirt tear off. 3 things. 1, how far are they willing to go with Hogan and with Sting? Could there be an actual feud between them? Now, we know Hogan can't wrestle anymore, but who says someone couldn't wrestle on Hogan's behalf? That could be a Matt Morgan. That's alright. 2, the situation between Bully Ray and Hogan, how far are they going to go with that? Because still, that's still unresolved. I still say that there could be a feud between Hogan and Bully Ray. Like I said, like a lot of people know, Hogan really can't go anymore in the ring. He is very badly injured. Now, if he was to get into that ring again, not saying he would, but if he did, it would be at Slammiversary. I know I've had comments before, people saying, dude, he's too badly hurt. That's what we thought in 2011 and 2012 when he went up against Sting. No one thought he would be crazy enough to get in the ring again, but he did. So who says he couldn't try again? Think positive, ladies and gentlemen. You could see Hogan back in the ring. They wouldn't let Hogan get too much physical with a Bully Ray because they don't want to see him get hurt. Now, I could be correct in what's going to happen with Sting and Matt Morgan. This could be a springboard for Matt Morgan to deal with Bully Ray. Because if he takes on Sting on Hogan's behalf and says to Hogan, you made a mistake, I rectified your mistake. Give me what I want. I want the world title. Hogan, out of hatefulness and vengefulness, may do that for Matt Morgan. And 3, if Sting is not going after Bully Ray and getting the championship, Hulk Hogan is not going after Bully Ray and getting the championship, could it be before Slammiversary you have a Matt Hardy and you have a Matt Morgan going against each other for Slammiversary, or even greater, Bound for Glory? I know people are thinking, man, and I'm sure maybe someone's going to say, dude, you can't be serious. I can be. Look, Matt Morgan's been teased for years. Sorry, I mean teased. I can't breathe very well. And in the end, they need to do something with him or let him go. Now, for them showing him with Sting, it looks like they may be pushing him. Now, this is still a tease. It's a possibility not going to do anything with him, and we're still going to have Sting dealing with Hogan, and then Hogan dealing with Bully Ray, and maybe Sting dealing with Bully Ray along with Hardy. But if this works out right, and you use Sting, Sting, Hulk Hogan, and Matt Hardy to springboard a Matt Morgan to Slammiversary to face a Bully Ray on any one of their behalves would actually be a very nice touch. I don't know if it could happen. I'm probably wrong. And I'm okay with that. But if you see my videos, I haven't been that wrong about things lately. So who knows? We may be seeing a Sting and Matt Morgan feud briefly that's going to springboard Matt Morgan into the good graces of a Hulk Hogan. So how do I rate this show? Because I didn't see anything from Brooke Hogan since she's now an afterthought, I'm not too fond of that. We really didn't see much of Magnus other than the fight in the beginning of the show and a Samoa Joe. I would like to see them do something, but they haven't done anything. But I have to be honest that this wasn't a half bad show. I give it a B+. They're building into the next shows, and they're building into the next pay-per-views, particularly for the X Division. So I'm actually quite happy about that. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything. No, I didn't. I think I got everything covered. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane review. Subscribe and comment to my channel. I can't do it. I like to do that little bit at the end. I'm just too sick. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will do my best to get my SmackDown review out earlier tomorrow. But if I can't, ladies and gentlemen, please be understanding. I am very sick right now, and this sucks. Take care and have a good night.